Hello. Hello. How are you? This is my live stream, and my name is Charles Webster Baer, and um, today is December 27th, 2020, and I am in Redmond, Oregon, USA, Earth, and my website is globalinternetgovernment.com. And today I'd like to talk about four different things. um, Number one, I'd like to talk about depopulationism. Number two, I'd like to talk about global internet government. And number three, I'd like to talk about fog bank. And number four, I'd like to talk about me. So those are the four things that I want to talk about today. Number one is depopulationism. Number two is gig. Number three is fog bank. And number four is me. So let's start with number one, depopulationism. Um, Depopulationism is an idea that was created by the Chinese government in the 1980s. It's also known as the one woman, one child policy. And depopulationists, like myself, feel that it is illegal and immoral for anybody in this millennium to reproduce more than once. And depopulationists would like to see a significant and sustained and immediate decline in the number of people on Earth. Because this would allow the number of people on Earth to eventually arrive at a sustainable level. And this is a number for future generations to determine. But I'm going to go ahead and guess that it's about 2 or 3 billion people. And this would allow the environment to heal, and this would allow for more trees to grow back. And then in the future, when people want to breathe oxygen, they'll be able to do that because there'll be enough trees to create enough oxygen for people to breathe, and we won't all suffocate to death. And that's a good thing. Right now, right now, the number of people on Earth is increasing, and depopulationists like myself feel that that's the wrong direction. We think that's a suicide course, and we think that people don't have the right to kill the planet, and people don't have the right to threaten the planet, but that's what we're doing, and that's wrong, so we should stop. And I think that it's time for Americans, and especially Oregonians, to stand up and lead the way by example. I think it's time for Americans to save the planet. Uh, and and I'm trying to explain to Americans how we can do this right now. So please vote for only depopulationist candidates. Only vote for candidates who publicly state that they're depopulationists. And please run for office as a depopulationist. And depopulation is really just common sense, you know. To me, it's always been obvious that there's enough people on the planet. And to me, that's always meant, obviously, that that means I don't need to create more people. It's really actually very simple. You know, we don't want there to be too many people on the planet. And there's enough people on the planet, so we don't need to make more people. And we don't want to, we actually need to make less people because we don't want to risk it. We don't want to take the chance of killing the planet. You know, we don't want to, you know, go past the point of no return with this. So not only do we not want to kill the planet, but we don't want to be in a position to kill the planet. We don't want to kill Earth, and we don't want to, you know, accidentally kill Earth. So we need to play it safe. We need to walk away from the cliff. And that's what depopulation is. And I've spent the last 35 years trying to explain this to everybody. And I'll spend the rest of my life trying to explain this to everybody. And, you know, I'm not sure why people can't figure this out. It's always been real simple and obvious to me. I don't know why other people can't quite grasp this concept. But anyway, that's depopulationism. That's the goal. That's what we have to do as a species immediately while we still have a chance. So depopulationism is what our job is, what our mission is, and what we need to do right now as human beings on Earth. And so I'm trying to explain that to everyone, and I'm trying to explain how we can do that. So that's number one, depopulationism. Number two is GIG, global internet government. So depopulationism is what we need to do, and GIG is how we can do it. GIG is a world government that I created in Portland, Oregon in the year 2000. And GIG is going to unite the planet Earth politically and economically. And GIG is going to create a platform so that the whole planet and so that every human being can participate in and contribute to this world government. And GIG is going to unite the planet politically with freedom and democracy and equality and birth control, reproductive rights. And reproductive rights means that all people have the right to total and free access to all forms of birth control, including abortion. And any government that does not completely support this is an illegitimate government and will be replaced quickly and peacefully by a legitimate government. And gig is going to unite the planet economically through balanced budget agreements and balanced budget amendments and transparency and trade agreements and regional currencies. And gig is going to monitor every financial transaction by every government on the planet. And that way everybody can see where all the money's going, who's getting it, how much they're getting, when they're getting it, what they're doing with it, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what gig's going to do. Gig's to unite the world politically and economically. And gig's going to work with the United Nations and the International Monetary Fund to accomplish this. And gig's going to give everybody a voice. Everybody's going to be able to, say how they feel about this. And everybody's going to be able to help hammer all this out. Everybody's going to have an interactive part in this. And everybody's going to be very well informed as to exactly what's happening with them and their government and the world government on a very immediate and transparent basis. So gig is inevitable and gig's going to happen. It's just a question of whether it happens fast enough. And this is the evolution of civilization. This is just how the internet is really bringing us all together as kind of like one thing. The internet is really uniting us, and the gig is just the latest incarnation of this unity that we are experiencing as a species. So, what we need to do is depopulationism, and gig is how we're going to do it. And gig is going to allow everybody to have their own say as to whether or not they want to be part of this. And countries will vote. And if they vote to become part of gig, then they will become part of gig. And if they vote to leave gig, then they can leave gig. Countries can come and go as they wish, but countries that wish to be part of it will become part of it when they vote. When the majority of the voters of a country want to be part of gig, then they will become part of gig when they accept the terms of gig, which is one woman, one child, and transparency and equality and democracy and freedom. So when countries vote to enter this new era of enlightenment, they will be allowed to do so. And if countries vote to leave, they will be allowed to leave. So that's gig. We're not going to force anybody into this, but when the majority of the voting public of any country wishes to enter, they will be allowed to enter. And if the majority votes to enter gig, they can enter gig. If the majority votes to leave gig, they can leave gig. But so that's what gig is. Gig provides everyone an opportunity to move forward as a planet, with logic and common sense, and environmental awareness. So that's global internet government. So depopulation is the goal. That's number one. Gig is number two. Gig is how we're going to achieve that goal. Gig is the plan. And number three is fog bank. Okay. And fog bank is a cyber currency that I created last year. And fog bank is a cyber currency that I created, and it's got a unit of currency. The unit of currency for fog bank is called the fog buck, FOGBUK, and plural is fog bucks, FOGBUX. And Anybody can buy as many fog bucks as they want for 1 penny a fog buck. The value of a fog buck will fluctuate constantly from zero to as high as it wants to go, and then back down to zero again, and then back up again to as high as it can go, and then, between zero and whatever, the value of a fog buck will continually fluctuate. um, so anybody can buy as many fog bucks as they want for 1 cent each. There's also something called a fog bick, Fogbik. Plural is fog bicks, Fogbix. A fog bick has the exact same value as a fog buck. Okay. A fog bick and a fog buck are always going to be the exact same value. A fog buck is something that someone buys from Fog Bank. A fog bick is something that Fog Bank gives to somebody. And Fog Bank is going to give 10,000 fog bicks to everybody on the planet. You're welcome. Now, Fog Bank can suspend or terminate any fog bick at any time for any reason or for no reason at all. But Fog Bank can't touch fog bucks. If you buy a fog buck, it's yours forever. And that's the end of that story. So if you buy a fog buck, you've got it forever until you spend it. If you receive a fog bick, that's yours for as long as we allow you to have it, which is probably forever. But if you get involved in some, if something happens and we don't like what happened, then we'll suspend or terminate that fog bick. That's our discretion. Now, everything is totally transparent. Every fog buck and every fog bick has its own unique fog bank currency number. And every fog bank user has their own unique fog bank user number. And every fog bank transaction has its own unique fog bank transaction number. And everything is totally public. Everything is totally transparent. Everybody everywhere can always see exactly where all the fog bucks are, where all the fog bigs are, who's got them, where they got them, how they got them, what they did with them. So the entire history of every fog buck and every fog big is completely transparent and completely public, and everybody everywhere can always see exactly the entire history of every unit of currency of fog bank. Also, there's going to be a limit on how much fog bucks you can have. You can't have more than $1 trillion worth of fog bucks or fog bigs or fog bucks, and you can't have less than 10 fog bucks. So everybody will always have at least 10 fog bucks, and if they spend all of it, then they'll get 10 more. But nobody can have more than $1 trillion worth of fog bucks. So there's a limit, an upper limit and a lower limit. So nobody will ever be technically broke, and nobody will ever be able to go above that upper limit. So that's the gap of despair. That's the gap between, as high as rich as you can get and as poor as you can get. There's a gap, and it's a huge, almost infinite gap. However, that gap could be closed over time. we can raise the minimum to 20 fog bucks a month. If you don't have any fog bucks, then you can get an extra 20 fog bucks a month. And we can lower the limit down to, $500 billion in fog bucks. So we've got a ceiling and a floor. And that's a huge difference of wealth disparity. But we can shrink that distance. We can lower the ceiling and raise the floor as circumstances warrant. So fog bank really is the future of money. If money's a good thing. And if money's not a good thing, then we can, use fog bank to get rid of it. But if money is a good thing, then we can just allow it to evolve and onto its next level of, we can improve it to the point where it gets to where it should be, where it can be, where it, money's always getting better, always evolving, always improving, and this is just the latest development of that. And so that's fog bank. That's number 3. So depopulationism is number 1. That's the goal that we have to achieve as a species, and we will, and hopefully we'll achieve it before the clock runs out. Number 2 is gig. That's the plan. That's how we're going to achieve the goal. That's the road we need to walk down to get to the destination. The destination is depopulationism. Gig is the road we're going to walk down to get to that destination. And then 3 is fog bank, and that's how we're going to, I guess you could say, finance this enterprise or kickstart it or, kick up some dust. So now we're at number 4, the final topic, my favorite topic, me. So let's talk about me, because that's really what I like talking about most of all. My name is Charles Webster Baer. I'm 51 years old. Never been married, don't have any kids. I'm Buddhist. I think Buddhism is the correct philosophy for me. I'm agnostic. I think everybody's agnostic. I was born and raised in Santa Cruz, California. Went to high school in Newport, Rhode Island. Graduated from the University of Hawaii at Hilo on the Big Island in 1994. Moved to Santa Fe, New Mexico in 1995. Moved to Portland, Oregon in 1999. Created global internet government in the year 2000. Moved to Bend, Oregon in the year 2007. Moved to China in the year 2014. Stayed in China for 3 years, moved back to Bend, Oregon in 2017, and moved to Redmond, Oregon in 2019. And I'm running for mayor of Redmond, Oregon in 2022. And I'm running for president of the United States of America in 24 and 28 as a depopulationist and as a libertarian. And I'm a libertarian, and what that means is that I'm for more freedom and less government. Okay? I'm a fiscal conservative and a social liberal. Okay? If it has to do with money, I'm a Republican. If it doesn't have to do with money, I'm a Democrat. Okay? I'm for legalizing all drugs. I'm for legalizing suicide. I'm for negative immigration, which I think means I think that more people should be leaving the country than coming in. However many people leave America, less than that number should be allowed to enter. I'm for less government, which means if I'm elected president of the United States of America, I will veto all budgets unless they're less than the year before. All budgets will have to be below what they were the year before, or I'll veto them. I'm for isolationism, which means I think the world can solve its own problems. The United Nations is there to help, America's there to help, but we're not going to do it all ourselves. We'll only get involved in regional conflicts if the other countries within the region are willing to assist and foot the majority of the bill, and if the United Nations approves it. Otherwise, it's not our problem. So I'm an isolationist. So that's what I'm doing politically. I'm running for president. I'm running for mayor. I'm campaigning. You know, I believe in this country. I believe in America. I believe in freedom. I believe in democracy, and I support it. And I am involved in it, and I will continue to be involved in it. I enjoy it. I like it. I think I'm pretty good at it. I like being in the mix. I like being on the street. I like, meeting people, and basically I like just running my yap. I just like, I just like making noise. That's the bottom line here. I just like to go, and just do that forever. And that's what I like to do. So that's what I do. And so that's basically it. That's my live stream. I'm live streaming because, I can go for half an hour or an hour. And I've gotten to the point where I need half an hour or 45 minutes to talk about what I'm talking about, because I've got so much to talk about. I can't do it in, 10 or 12 minutes anymore. So that's why I'm live streaming, and I'll be live streaming, I guess, from now on, because I've got so much to say. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my live stream. This is my first live stream. And please contact me. Please go to my website. Please support depopulationism. Please support logic and common sense. Please support environmentalism. And, please share this video. Please make your own video about these topics. Please get involved wherever you are with your government. And, let's all just keep moving forward. Let's all just keep improving. Let's all just keep evolving. Let's all just keep getting better. And let's all just work to hammer out these issues and solve these problems with logic and common sense. And let's all just remain calm and relaxed and polite and optimistic and mature. And thank you very much for your time, and have a great day. Have a great year, and adios. Thank you very much.